I think of all of the tweets that this man has put out, this one is the most damning and very well might be the one he regrets the most. I think having spent so long sitting atop a very large business with no one to answer to has led to a weakness in the man that he doesn't have the ability to restrain his own desires. He doesn't have the ability to restrain his own words or think about how they might affect him in the future. Because he's just one more tweet away from changing the subject, but this one's not going to be able to be changed so easily. See, never having been a politician and never having been in a position of real power has hamstrung this man. And having an opinion this way about what Vladimir Putin may or may not do is pretty much now a tacit endorsement of the idea that the Russians did hack this election. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about here, the U.S. has expelled some Russian diplomats based on the investigation that revealed they were involved, in fact, in election activities and hacking the DNC. Vladimir Putin has not responded directly and is delaying his response until some future date. Now, what that future date could be is pretty easy for any of us to ascertain. There's only two dates coming up. There's the tabulation session on the 7th and Inauguration Day on the 20th. So this pretty much puts the nail in that coffin. And his involvement is now absolutely undeniable. Even the most ardent Trump supporter can now not honestly say that this man is completely innocent and doesn't have any involvement whatsoever. Because he wouldn't have an opinion on this if he wasn't. It wouldn't matter. It would be irrelevant. They have tried very, very hard to distance themselves from this gentleman, Paul Manafort. He was the campaign manager for the Trump campaign until it was revealed that he had been involved with some Russian interests and lobbying efforts on behalf of pro-Russian Ukrainian leader Viktor Yanukovych. I probably said that wrong, but Ferdinand Marcos, Mobutu Sese Seko, and guerrilla leader Jonas Savimbi. Wow, that's just a fantastic resume to have. It's just amazing the kind of people this guy has surrounded himself with and believed that he could just get away with it and it wouldn't matter. And if it was just one person, it's like, oh, okay, sometimes people can sneak in and you don't know who they are, but then we got Carter Page. And foreign policy advisor to Donald Trump, American oil industry consultant, and oh yeah, founder and managing partner of Global Energy Capital, a New York investment fund and consulting firm specializing in the Russian and Central Asian oil and gas business. Imagine that. But of course, Donald Trump is not involved, of course, in any way with Russian hacking or Vladimir Putin, even though he's had multiple statements regarding the man. It's just really, really amazing to see how far the programming can go with his supporters. But 30 December tweet by the man pretty much has now shot all of that doubt out of the minds of anybody who is a reasonable person that can read the writing on the wall and understand what this means. With only one more day left in the year, tomorrow I'm going to do the prediction video, but I just wanted to cover one more thing today about the tabulation session. And this is from Vice News, and they did a real good job of covering it. I'm just going to cover this. It has to do with a very little known law. 3 U.S. Code Section 15 allows for challenge to electoral votes, either on an individual basis or statewide. You need one member of the House, one member of the Senate to submit a letter asserting the votes were not regularly given. From there, the houses go into recess and they deliberate, and it can be voted down, but given that the Senate now only has a 2-vote majority for the Republicans, and in many of my videos I've shown you 15 different Republican senators that are never Trump, we would only need 2. two of those to step up and be a hero and be a patriot and sustain that vote. And they could either, if it's a tie, toss the vote of a state and it would then go to toss it out completely and it wouldn't be counted, or it would go to the governor of the state to then award the votes. And it says so right here. In the new Senate, Republicans will only have a 2-vote majority, and if those 2 votes abstain the objection, the tie-breaking vote goes to Vice President Joe Biden. Then, if the Senate approves the objection but the House votes against it, the law suggests the state's governor awards the contested electoral votes. And many times in my videos, I iterated about the governors being either never Trump or Democrats in these states. Pennsylvania, they're using the same example I did. Tom Wolf, he's a Democrat. Missouri, Jay Nixon was a Democrat. North Carolina was one of those states that now has a Democratic governor, and it didn't before. Ohio, John Kasich is a never Trump guy. Any one of these states, and we would need just two Republican senators. That's it now. And with that giant list of 15, if this does go through and none of them stand up and do anything, I think we can for sure say that the Republican Party is now the party of cowardice. Because they have an opportunity, and it's undeniable. It is absolutely undeniable that this man is involved with the Russians. I was kind of on the fence about it. The fact that he was being accused of it, to me, kind of disqualified him just because of the lack of, appearance of propriety. There was used to be this idea that even if you were accused of certain things, that you didn't take care to make sure that you were seen to be a beyond reproach, that you couldn't run for office. But I guess that went away a long time ago. But who knows? Anyway, I don't want to waste a whole bunch of your time. I know we have New Year's Eve activities coming up, and I'm putting together a video for tomorrow that's going to cover 8 or 9 predictions if the man does take office. But based on that tweet today, we might see something entirely different in the next week now. I think he really made his first major error in judgment, and I think it just goes to his arrogance that he now thinks he's beyond reproach and able to speak and operate with impunity. And he has one more hurdle to go over that I don't think he even realizes. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, folks. I really appreciate it. It's been a great year. You folks are fantastic. And like, share, subscribe, click that little bell. If you could, that would be great. If anybody has any questions for me, please down in the comment section. I am always available to answer. I'll do the very best that I can. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.